All right, let's hit the speed bag here on Making the Rounds. Dan Rafael, Zou Shiming, Luis De La Cruz headline the Macau fight card this Saturday. When looking at the main event, what is the storyline above all others?
Well, the storyline for Zou Shiming is really all about his progression. Has he improved? Can he handle the step up to a longer fight? Can he show something as far as still drawing in the big crowds in China? Listen, this is all about Zou Shiming getting ready to fight for one of the flyweight world titles. It's the next step along that trail. If he's successful in this fight, most likely come end of the year, you're going to see this guy in a world championship fight. And this is all about getting ready for that fight, getting sharp for that fight. You want this to be the last statement that you make before you fight for a world title. And that's what's at stake here for Zou Shiming.
Nigel Collins, Guillermo Rigondeaux gets a challenge from Saad Coquillet, Jim. Much like Lara, Rigondeaux takes heat for his stick and move style as he uses his speed and defense to avoid the slugfest. What do you need to see from him?
Well, Rigondeaux needs to establish a fan base. Everybody knows he's a beautiful boxer, but he's also a very boring fighter. So I think he needs a knockout, and I think this opponent is the perfect guy because he hasn't fought anybody who is even remotely close to Rigondeaux's experience and all-round fighting ability.
Hey, Dan, former three-division titleist Abner Mares returned to the ring Saturday with a unanimous decision over Jonathan Oquendo. It wasn't exactly a Picasso, but good or bad, what did you learn about Mares following that fight?
Well, it definitely wasn't Picasso because it was really not a good fight, and it really, frankly, was not a good performance. But the key here is this. He got back on the winning track. He needed that victory after getting knocked out in the first round last summer, losing his featherweight title. You got to cut him some slack because it was his first time he was in a fight with Virgil Hunter as his trainer, trying to employ some of those more defensively responsible techniques that he teaches. You have to give him some time. End of the day, he got the win. Not a good fight. He moves on. That's the important thing. He learned that he can go and try to implement the things that Virgil Hunter has been teaching him. Now it's a matter of refining it and finding some of that offense once again.
Nigel, you have our Twitter question. It comes from the maestro. Too bad Brian Campbell isn't here to answer. It's now official as Floyd Mayweather Jr. Marcos Maidana, the rematch set for September 13th at MGM Grand in Las Vegas. How will the second fight differ stylistically from that first one?
I think we're going to say pretty much the same thing. I mean, not an instant replay, but, you know, Maidana can fight one way. He's going to bull rush in there. He's going to try and throw as many punches. I think the last time he got a little gassed halfway through the fight. So if Maidana's going to improve on his performance, if there's any way he can improve his conditioning, I think that would help. As far as Mayweather's concerned, I agree with the consensus that he probably learned enough from the first fight that he's going to be better in the second fight, and it probably won't be as exciting for that reason.
You have to wonder if one of those haymakers will finally land. Tweet your questions to @ESPN Boxing or B. Campbell ESPN using hashtag ESPN Rounds, and we will provide the answers. Welterweights Emmanuel Taylor and Kareem Mayfield headline Friday night fights at 9 Eastern on ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and Watch ESPN. My partner Brian Campbell will be back next week, but that's all our time. Thanks to Dan Rafael and Nigel Collins. I'm Jim Basswell. We are making the rounds right here on the boxing page of ESPN.com.